Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Carl's Collections. And joining me today is my friend, Mr. Angry Canadian. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I've been looking forward to hanging out with you and talking about what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, yes. And if the headline of this video didn't give it away, today we're doing our handheld collections from everything from probably like old Game Boys to kind of more of the modern stuff. I know Mr. AC here kind of got a little triggered when I said, I'm going to show off some Switches. And he was like, grr.
Yes.
Well, why is that? Why don't you explain to the audience why you don't necessarily consider the Switch a handheld?
So to give a caveat, I believe the Switch Lite is a handheld because you can't plug it into a TV and play it on the TV as like a console, a home console.
Yeah.
Whereas the regular Switch, it comes packed with a dock so that you can play it on the TV. So that's why I consider the original Switch, which includes the OLED and the Switch 2 as a home console, whereas the Switch Lite is an actual handheld.
Yeah, well, it's when we look at all the surveys and everything we see for the Switch, I think it was what like somewhere around 70% of people don't even play docked mode. You know?
Yeah, I understand it's a hybrid console, so it's like a weird thing. It has like the best of both worlds.
Yes.
But for me, it's weird. For me, I always have mine docked, and then I play my Switch Lite on the go. And I don't know. I'm too afraid to take it out in public. A lot of these new pieces of technology are like a bit too fragile for me. So
I feel you that way, but at the same time, you live in like more of a safer area. For me, it's like I can't imagine taking my Switch 2 to Chicago.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
I get a little worried. It's not just because like I'm worried about people stealing it. It's because I'm just worried about like some random child running by and slapping it or something. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, I know that mom's not gonna buy me a new one, so I'm boned.
Yeah, for me, it's just I'm worried about getting it banged up on accident or dropping it. Not that I do that, but it's just like that possibility. And then also like with the Switch, it's a bit bigger than the Switch Lite, so you got to make sure you have you'll have to buy a bigger case for it, to put it away in your backpack. Whereas the Switch Lite's a bit smaller, so the case for it isn't as like chunky.
Right. No, I haven't even got a Switch 2 case yet either, so I haven't even been able to bring that out.
Yeah, the only one I have for Switch 2 is the travel case. So it's kind of like a box that has like the slots for the dock and the console itself.
Hmm.
Just I got it multi-purpose so I can put my other Switch consoles into it. But yeah, I bet I've seen the actual case for the Switch 2 and it's a pretty big boy. So um that will be fun bringing it to the airport, I think.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Are you, now kind of a little spoilers? Are you going to show off your Switch 2 in this collection?
No, I'm not gonna. I'll leave that to you. I have one Switch Lite I'll show off, and that's it. But the rest is just gonna be the normal handhelds.
Yeah. So for disclaimer too, I'm not going to show a Switch 2 on this one either, because my wife currently has that, and I don't know if she put mine, and she's at work. And on top of that too, I also have a Steam Deck, but I don't want to show that off either because I feel like I don't have time for that. I kind of want to show off the cooler parts of my collections because, as some of you may or may not know, most of my stuff is going to be limited edition consoles, and I'd rather just show off the cool stuff like that versus just the plain Jane kind of base models. So, with that being said, AC, do you have anything final to add before I punt it over to you to start us off?
No, I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, now the floor is all yours. Let's hear your first one, or let's see it too.
So, excuse me. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from kind of like oldest console to newest console. Not oldest as in I've acquired it, like the oldest that I've had, just
Hmm.
generation, and I'll try my best to explain like why I have it and or how I got it, I should say. So, I'll start with the good old Game Boy Advance. This one, like I said, I actually don't remember how I got this one. I probably bought it for really cheap because it didn't come with the, the cover case, or maybe I got this from a friend of mine. And for the longest time, as an adult, by the way, I had this as an adult. This was my Game Boy player, because I didn't have a DS. We'll talk more about that later. But this has been pretty fun to use. Now I only really use this for the GameCube with the link cable. So you plug it in at the top here, and then you plug it into your GameCube, and you can use it with a whole wide array of different games and whatnot. So I got to test it out on Wind Waker, for example, which was pretty cool to see that controlling Tingle and dropping bombs, paying like 10 rupees to drop bombs on enemies, which is really funny. And then there's Legend of Zelda Four Swords Adventure, which allows you to. It's a really interesting game. In order to play that game co-op, you need to have one GameCube controller and then one Game Boy controller or Game Boy as the controller. But if you want to play more than two people co-op, everybody else has to have a Game Boy as a controller, and that includes the first player. It's really weird. So you have to come in with 4 link cables and 4 Game Boys to play that in co-op. I don't know why they designed it like that, but it is what it is. One game I really want to try, and maybe I'll do it on stream some time, is Metroid Prime. If you plug this in with, I believe it's with Fusion, Metroid Fusion, you will unlock Fusion mode for Metroid Prime, which makes the game even harder.
Oh, nice.
And I think it also unlocks some other little secrets within Metroid Prime itself. So I've always wanted to try it and just see how it is. But as far as like the console itself, obviously this one does not have the backlit screen, so it's like pretty bad. Like you have to play in direct sunlight to really see. But for me, as a good childhood memory, one of my favorite games on the Game Boy Advance was the Super Mario Advance game. So that's the Super Mario Bros. 2 game, basically remastered for the Game Boy Advance. And I have a lot of fond memories playing that game on the go. At that time, I think I had a all black Game Boy Advance. I think it was, and I just remember playing that everywhere. It was a fantastic game. So that was like the only one I really did own for a Game Boy game, I should say. So, but yeah, I'll never really play Game Boy games on this because when we get to the end of this video, I have a much better device for that.
I think we both do for that one. All right. Well, I had a Game Boy Advance too myself when I was growing up. Mine was the purple edition or indigo, whatever you want to call it. And, purple's my favorite color. So obviously I was drawn to that. And then I had an SP for a while too, but I just didn't like how, like, very soft it sounded. And it gave me hand cramps after a while. And to the point where I'm just like, forget it. I'm just going to upgrade to one of our later consoles that we got. But
That's
yeah, that was
interesting
gone.
because I always wanted the SP. And whenever I saw that as a kid, I'm like, I want to play on a backlit screen, and it's got the flip feature because mid 2000s the flip technology was in, and
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted that. And I remember there was a kid in the schoolyard that had it. He would play like Pokemon on it, and I thought it looked really cool. But yeah, I've never held one, and well, actually, it's been years, I should say, but as a grown man, I have not held one of those SPs and tried to play a game on it to see how bad it is.
Yeah, it isn't terrible, but like I said, I had a purple one. I kept getting the button stuck, so like that was a big problem for me. And then on top of that too, it felt like I was holding an old like phone from back in the day too. So I was just playing it with one hand and just doing all that stuff. So it was pretty funny. All right, well, yeah, the Game Boy Advance, really good one. I guess I should ask, what was your favorite go-to game for the Game Boy Advance when you had it?
Well, besides Super Mario Advance, so the Super Mario Brothers 2 remaster, um, it's changed over time because I've played like other Game Boy Advance games. For me, it's Metroid Zero Mission. That is my favorite. Probably actually it might be my second favorite Game Boy game now. Um, and I finally have been able to acquire one, and I'm looking forward to playing it within a Game Boy type of system. So. But no, it was Super Mario Advance, which I actually have the game over there, but we're talking about consoles today.
Yes, mine was Pokemon Sapphire, obviously, because
Oh, yes. Yep.
that was the goat, baby. That was the goat. All right. Well, if you got nothing more to add to that one, do you mind if I take over now?
Go ahead, buddy.
All right, we're gonna go to the big screen for me. So first off, I want to start off pretty much just with the only sealed console I still have, and that was a gift from my wife for my birthday. I think the first year we got married, and that is this lovely little beast of a console over here, and that is the Persona 4 Dance All Night Limited Edition PlayStation Vita. This is still sealed. I couldn't believe my wife actually bought me a sealed copy of this. It caught me off guard for sure. But yeah, the fun little story behind this one is that this is a LCD model, and what that means is the PlayStation Vita came in with two types of Vita models. One was the original OLED model, and the OLED model did not have any internal memory, versus this model, the LCD model, actually had, I think, about 4 gigs of internal data, but it did not have an OLED screen. So you sacrificed a little bit of the picture quality for your games, but you also gained back a little bit with some actual save data inside of your console. If people don't know, the PlayStation Vita also released with proprietary memory cards. So you could not actually have regular memory cards or third party memory cards. You actually had to buy the first party memory cards from the Vita itself.
Good
And
old Sony.
good old Sony. I love this one. I just like that it's got Teddy all over the box. As you can see, just like the very, you know, disco theme branding, the stars and everything. Um, this will be the day I kind of like die, kind of thing. Here's an actual picture of the Vita unit itself, as you can
It,
see.
it's a bit hard to tell with the camera, but is that lime green or what kind of green is that color for the? Oh, there we go. Or is it yellow?
Yeah, it's like a off yellow, off green kind of look to it. It's
Okay.
probably more so of a yellow color. I just turned off that camera, or I mean this light, because there was a big glare, so I'm just trying to make sure. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It's definitely more of a yellow color, but like on the actual box, because it's actually looking through the plastic, and there's like another plastic layer on top of this. It's kind of a little distorted.
Is that a Japanese console? Because I thought I could see some Japanese
Oh,
on
it
there.
is. It was only released in Japan.
That makes sense then. Okay,
See.
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So another thing too about PlayStation products after the PS2 generation, your PlayStation 3 and up, and including their handhelds, and that includes the PSP, were all region free except for certain movies and stuff like that. So if you bought, you could buy any Japanese Vita that you want, and they will all play your English games. The only thing that, to warn some people, and you would understand this too. In Japan, uh, the X means negative and the O means positive. So when you are playing these Japanese consoles, don't press X to click OK like you're normally used to out here, because it will send you back. It's the no button.
Yeah, that throws me off every once in a while when I'm playing a Japanese game. But then I'll just quickly adjust. Yeah, it does throw you off a minute.
Yeah, it's Nintendo rules, as I like to call it.
Oh yes.
So that I just kind of wanted to go through this one, because there's not really too much to show on this one. There's no real story. This was a gift from my wife, and it's the only sealed console I still have, because I just don't want to open this, because Persona stuff is crazy, and I think there was one time when I actually got almost desperate to sell it, and there's no sealed copies of these on eBay at the time, and the guy at the shop said, like, I don't know how to put a value on this item. The only thing I can do is get the highest box copy that's open, and I did not want to sell for that price. But that's about it for this one for me, because like I said, there's not really too much to talk about besides, hey, look, it's a sealed sealed console.
I mean, that's pretty dope. I've with all the retro hunting I do out here, I don't know if I've ever seen that one. The Persona 4 limited edition Vita. I don't think I've seen that. So I'll have to keep a closer eye on it because I'm kind of curious about its value, how
Yeah.
much it's going for out here at least. So that yeah, that is really neat. Now I guess yeah. Anyways, that yeah, I was gonna say something else, but I'll wait till later. But yeah, that's really cool, man.
Yeah. It's kind of like my pride and joy in my console collection, just because it has the value of its rareness and obscurity, and then the sentimental value of, like, well, this was the first birthday gift I got from my wife after we got married. So
What a fantastic birthday gift.
exactly. Alrighty, well, that's all I got from my first one. How about we shoot it back to you there, AC?
All right, yeah. So for my next one, unfortunately, this is not my original Nintendo DS Lite. This is a like one that I was able to get off of somebody, uh, like many years ago. But my very first handheld console that I owned was a Nintendo DS Lite, and in
Mm-hmm.
particular, it was the Legend of Zelda Gold Edition one that came with Phantom Hourglass, and kind of like and I guess humbling story behind it is I had a paper route as like a 10-year-old kid, I think it was, 11-year-old kid. And so I used to deliver papers in my neighborhood and I saved up my money and I was able to buy that DS Lite with my own money. So it was like the very first console I bought with my own money and I cherished that thing. But I didn't cherish it enough because I ended up trading it away for a single Lego minifigure,
Oh
which
no.
I talked to my buddy when he came out to visit me recently. He told me he's like, yeah, that's how you traded to me. Boy, was I stupid because I don't know why I would have done that. But he has it, so I know it's still like I know where to find it. I know where you live. Um, Anyways, I love the DS Lite. I had a lot of great memories playing the DS Lite. As you can see here, it's a pretty small console, very basic console. Of course, it came with the backlit screen. This version, well, the original one, the Fat Boy did too, but this smaller version is perfect for child hands. As I think it's still comfortable even for adult hands.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's got the touchscreen on it. Now, what was really nice about the DS is it was backwards compatible with Game Boy Advance games. And for actually, the reason why I got this, excuse me, the reason why I got it was uh, several years ago. I didn't have that Game Boy Advance, but I did have the DS, so I would play Game Boy games on the DS. So yeah, it was. I don't know. I love this console. As far as like great games that I played on it, besides the Phantom Hourglass, I had a lot of fun playing Mario Kart DS with like excuse me, download play. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, you like download the game. Someone has a copy of the game, and then you like download a version of it, and you can play it wirelessly. Same with Mario Party DS. That was a fantastic game to play. And then the game that I'm actually playing right now, and I'll show you on the different console or handle that I have is Bionicle Heroes. And I used to play that like religiously all the time, and because that was like my introduction to first-person shooters on a Nintendo DS.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah. Besides that, yeah, this thing is awesome, man. It's just like really small, really compact, lightweight. I Before I got the next console, I would out here in Japan, I'd just take this out everywhere with me and play my DS games on it. Um, I think battery life was fantastic on this as well. Trying to think what else I can really say about it. There was a lot of unique games that they made. Like they had games that were like you would play it like this, and like Brainiac type games, or
Yeah.
if you're playing you probably have PTSD from it, but the Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story,
Oh yeah.
and there were some of the games you had to play like this. Actually, I think you had to. It was one of these directions, but you had to like
Mm-hmm.
do the battle this way. I thought it was really cool that they can rotate the screen in the game, and that's how you play the game. So, yeah. Anyways, this was a lot of fun, and yeah. I mean, I love the DS. I like DS games a lot. I thought they're pretty well made and pretty advanced for the time. So, yeah. And the game that's in here right now, which I haven't touched, is Sonic Rush Adventure. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there was a really fun Ninja Gaiden game for the DS that also played the sideways mode, book mode as I like to call it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't realize Ninja Gaiden was on the DS. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't remember it or don't know about it. I feel like we need to tell Neo about that and force him to play
Yeah, yeah, force him to play on a real console. I don't know if he'll be able to
it.
do that.
Yeah, I mean the best part about the DS too, for me, was I also got that as a birthday gift from my mom back in the day, and that was when I was kind of going through high school. That's when I had Diamond and Pearl was like the big thing that came out there, and my mom bought that for me with a copy of Pearl for my birthday. And I kind of I was in high school, so we were kind of like a little bit worried about, oh, are you too old for Pokemon? And then one day I had a buddy of mine just bring his to school, and he was playing it in class, and he's like, "What? Who cares? It's fun." And like, and then
Yep.
angsty teen boy Adam got over it. and then he brought it in, and he's ever since then still hooked on it. There's still so many great games on the DS, uh, including one game series that was an Xbox 360 exclusive that got two sequels. Blue Dragon actually got some DS games as well. The
Huh.
first one, not so expensive. The second one, because it was short printed, is like insane. I think it's like a $300 game. Plus, you also have almost all the Dragon Quest games that you can think of that are got ported over there too, like 4, 5, I believe 6 as well. And then I want to say 9 was also an exclusive for the DS, not the 3DS.
Yeah, the DS man had a lot of games that were ported from the older consoles. Like a lot of the old Mario games. Of course, you had. Actually, no, I'm thinking of Game Boy Advance. But no, the Final Fantasy. That's what I was thinking of. You could play a ton of the Final Fantasies on the DS. Of course, you've got Chrono Trigger on the DS.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, there was just a ton of both old games ported and new games, like new games like Super Princess Peach was on the DS. It made that was a really cool game, as well as like the sequel to Yoshi's Island on the DS.
Yep.
There's also some weird games like the DK King and the Swing game. Um, the Sonic games came to the DS. Like the DS was just like really unique system. It had a lot of just like random unique games, cheap games, fun games. What I liked about it too was the colors. Like this is like the silver one, I guess, or light gray. But they had like a pink one. They had like a
Mm-hmm.
blue one. I mean, just the coloring on the consoles was really neat at the time. Of course, you had like the limited edition consoles too.
Yes.
The Fat Boy DS. I would like to get a Fat Boy DS just for the memes because it's a pretty big DS, and I remember just seeing that like on commercials. I'm like, that is like an ugly looking console, but um, yeah, this thing was like perfect. So
Yes, yes. And what was your favorite DS game?
favorite DS game. Uh, Oh, it's Bionicle Heroes. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be Bionicle Heroes. I mean, I'm replaying it right now, and I mean, they cooked with that game, and it's just like a really simple, basic game. So I'm in love all over again.
Yeah, and I'm gonna still stick with my Pokemon theme, obviously, with the good old Pokemon Platinum. Um, so you were gonna say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say when we were talking about the Game Boy, I had Ruby, or I still have it, and I loved playing it on the Game Boy, but I never was able to play any of the Pokemon DS games, and I love Gen 4 a lot. So I guess a dream of mine would be to play like Platinum on the DS, like probably on this DS or the next DS that I'll show you here. But I remember at the time, I remember seeing all the ads for it. I'm like, wow, this is like quite the experience here. And then also actually, I'm surprised you said Platinum, but I would love to play like Heart Gold or Soul Silver on the original DS too, because I always thought the art in that game was like, or those games were fantastic.
Well, as you know, we're doing a video game challenge for the audience that doesn't know, and I've been replaying all the old Pokemon games, and I've finally reached the 3DS era, and there was just so many fun Pokemon games that weren't even just mainline. Obviously this generation gets looked backed upon like really well for Pokemon. You also had the very awesome Mystery Dungeon games. You had Pokemon Conquest, which was a RTS game based off of Nobunaga's quest with Pokemon. So I think Nobunaga actually had a Zekrom, and on top of that too, there was just so many JRPGs that was on the original DS as well. The DS was an amazing console, and I think it does not get the respect it deserves amongst a lot of these new age gamers because let's be honest, they probably didn't really branch out too much with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden gems. And I would love to just dive more into the DS family, like the game family. Because like one of the biggest games people complain about with the DS is Super Mario 64 DS.
Hmm.
And that's because you have to use the D-pad in order to run around. And they added a sprint button, and it does not play really well on the DS, but it was pretty impressive at the time because you're playing like 3D games on on a mobile handheld game console, excuse me. So that was pretty impressive at the time. But just the gameplay wasn't really the best.
Right. Well, hey, listen, we all got to start somewhere, right? And that was one of the first Gen 1 DS games out there, so.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Any more thoughts about this DS? You said you have one more coming, so do you want to put a pin and move on to the next one?
Yeah, I can wait.
All right, cool, cool. All right, so first off, we'll just get this over here. My coworker has lovingly called this my makeup bag case, and here it is, right here. This was the Persona 4 Dance All Night Collector's Edition uh, Vita carrying case, by the way. So, as as you can tell, it's looks a little bit like a makeup bag, and I've never been able to leave the house with it ever since. I've been very embarrassed about that. But my playing Vita is actually this nice little red one right here. And what's so special about this one is that it's actually a limited edition Soul Sacrifice PlayStation Vita, and this was only released in Japan as well. Soul Sacrifice is a Vita game. It was made by Grasshopper Entertainment, and it's basically like a Monster Hunter type clone game where your whole thing is to go around and kill witches and wizards and try to stop basically the apocalypse from happening. I mean, and you have to do all these crazy combats to do so. Like you got to fight your memories. You get to choose branching paths, and to get like overpowered mode, you have to sacrifice part of your body to do so. So you can actually have like your eyeball. You can sacrifice your eyeball, and it messes up your vision. You can sacrifice your skin, and you take a little bit more damage and stuff like that. And I just really love the design of this Vita, as you can see. Sorry. It's black, it's red. There's the protagonist right there, the sorcerer, and it's just really just a very nice console. I wonder if this is charged. I want to see something real quick. All right, no, it's not charged. But the Vita is also one of the cooler consoles that I own, simply because it had backgrounds that you could play. Like you bought like one of my favorite things about the PS4, the 360, generation was that you can go and you could buy like customized backgrounds, and the Vita had those just like the PlayStation 4. If this one worked, it would start playing the Persona 4 dancing theme, which is pretty cool. But unfortunately, it's not charged. The one downside about the Vita is that it does not charge that well and keep as well as like the Nintendo products. But yeah, just wanted to show this off. This is my playing Vita. Um, and the best part about the Vita is that you can still go out there and you can still buy old PS1 classics like Mega Man Legends, the original Suikoden Run, The Adventures of Tron Bonnie, and Parasite Eve, and all these other games that were originally on the PS1. They can go and download and play on the go still. So if you're worried about going out there and spending some money for physical copies of some of these games, like I know Tron Bonnie can be a $500 physical game, which I hope to get one day. The end all be all is that you can still go here and buy it for $5 and not be the wiser.
Yeah, that's pretty cool design. I always see the Soul Sacrifice games like out and about here. Like they're just cheap on the resale market.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, I've always been curious about that, trying it out. But yeah, that I like seeing these. I like when they take art and they use it as a stencil, and then the case of the console itself is like colored, and then that does like the rest of the work for the art design.
Mm-hmm.
It really like helps to blend it in and everything. So yeah, that is pretty cool. I don't think I've seen that out here either, as far as like out in the wild. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that too.
It's hard to find collector edition handhelds in general, you know?
Yeah,
Like, I feel like the only ones you find are like the Zelda ones because like everyone got like the Zelda ones, and
yeah.
sometimes the Pokemon ones, you know?
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, Zelda sells and Pokemon sells for those collector's editions, and
Yeah.
it, the other ones, I mean, it's yeah, it depends on the game and the popularity then.
Yeah, it definitely does. I guess I should ask you, what was your favorite Vita game so far? I know you're kind of a new inductee to the Vita Island. So have you had got a early candidate?
Let me think. So I've only played, if we're talking true Vita, well, actually, yeah, I'll just say like Vita games in general. I've played Sly 1 and 2, um, this Gundam Warriors or Gundam Muso. I just finished Yeast. I think it's Yeast 4. Yeah, Yeast 4. Excuse me. Memories of Celceta, and then of course I have Minecraft, but I just got it for the memes because of how cheap it is. Um, Yeah, so I would say Yeast is probably my favorite on the Vita. It plays really well for the most part. It does have some chuggy moments because of the performance, but it's still a really I mean it plays just really well on the go. I thought it was like a really well made game in general. So I would like to buy a, Switch copy of it because they have a Switch copy of it out here and see how it plays on the Switch. But I've been really impressed with that game so far. I've only played like 4 games. So I know there's like a ton of other Vita games I still need to
Mm-hmm.
try. And I look forward to trying some more of them. But yeah, so far I would say Ys Memories of Celceta.
Very nice, very nice. I mean, obviously, I got to go with Persona 4 Golden. That was probably the definitive buy on the Vita for its entire lifespan.
Well, actually, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because when I got it and I was trying it out, Persona 4 on there, I was like, wow, actually, this game like works like really well with the Vita. Like it's not like this super heavy game or anything like graphically or even like with all the performance and it felt like a very comfortable game to play like on the go. I don't know, just it worked really well. It was weird. It's like it was a match made to be. So I look forward to continuing with that game at some point, but uh yeah, I was really impressed with that.
All right, all right. That's all I have for my two Vita game systems. I just want to get that out of the way. I collect in twos because I'm always worried about some technology failing. So those are my two Vitas that I currently own. So that's all I got for that right now. So we're gonna shoot it back to you, Mr. AC. So what is your next console?
So this one is probably pretty quick, but this is my DSi, and so the DSi was basically the success, not like a half successor to the DS, because it came with a camera, both front and eternal, or excuse me, internal. And it also came with I don't think there's oh yeah, right here. It came with Wi-Fi as well
Hmm.
because this DS had a like a shop for downloading they call them DSiWare. So basically like DSi mini games or applications, and that's really it. But everything else beside it is the same. It has a different UI, which actually I could probably open both of these up right now. And the reason why I got this one in particular is because it was cheap here in Japan. I got it for like $30.
Oh wow, yeah,
Um,
they're never that expensive.
yeah, and I got it because it has like a bit of a nicer screen on it. Um, yeah, see, as you can see, the screen brightness is different.
Hmm.
I might have this one turned down. But so after you go from here, you go to the actual menu, you'll see that it's actually very different. And you could tell that the DSi, they took some of the UI elements and they implemented into the 3DS later on. But
Yeah, I see that right away.
yeah, this is kind of nostalgic because it has like this goofy like music making game right here that a lot of people had fun with, as well as actually I don't even have it installed on here. There's another app on here that was called Flipnote, and it allowed you to make like sticky note type of animations, and that was like really popular too back in the day because you can download other people's sticky note animations and have fun like just seeing what kind of goofy stuff that they created. So, yeah, so the DSi, I got it really just because of how cheap it was. And actually I played this on the go now for any of my DS games, instead of like the original DS.
Yeah.
So I like, for example, I completed two Castlevania games on the DS on this one, the DSi, excuse me. Right now, I'm still trying to finish Chrono Trigger. I'm literally on the final chapter. I'm just dragging my feet right now.
Mm-mm-mm.
Um, Besides that, I would say some of the nicer features are it did come with an SD card slot right here, so you can actually have
Storage.
expandable storage. What I do appreciate is the power button as well as the volume button is very different. So here it's a regular push button as well as the rocker here, but on the
Yeah, it's not a
original DS,
slider. Yeah.
yeah, it's a stupid slider, which this slider's a bit broken. So even if I have it like barely halfway through, it won't even have the volume like at half volume. So I'm not a big fan of that. So that's why I got this. I'm kind of glad I have this now. But yeah, this is my primary DS playing device or DS game playing device, and now, a little bit of a tidbit: I want to buy another DSi console because they actually made a XL size, or in
Mm-hmm.
Japan they call it LL size,
Right.
and the XL size is apparently the largest. Without stretching the game, it's the largest format you can play a DS game on without the picture getting stretched. So, because if you play it on the 3DS XL, it's actually stretched and it looks a bit goofy depending on the game. Um, and there's a collector's one I want to get. It's the Mario 25th anniversary DSi LL. It's a Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a Japan only console.
Yeah.
And so my goal is to get that next as like a collector's console. And then just see how it plays with like those DS games on a bigger screen.
Yeah, I know. Like Japan got like the best collector's edition handheld consoles. It's insane.
Oddly enough, though, the Zelda one, the DS one, was a North American only console.
Yeah, but they got all the cool Pokemon ones. That's the biggest problem for me. It's like every time I see a amazing Pokemon 3DS, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to get that Japan only. And Nintendo does region locking, so I can't
Yes.
even really use it that well. But eventually, one day.
Yeah, so I guess I should have said the DS is not region locked, but the 3DS is. So you can play any DS game in a DS console, but the 3DS, yeah, it's unfortunately region locked.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way.
Yeah, we did.
I'm trying to play a Monster Hunter game you sent me, and it's like it's not working. You're lying. You're
Yep,
like,
my
no,
bad.
no, I'm right. And I'm like,
My
oh, we.
bad.
It was still funny. We were like arguing. It's like, who's gaslighting who here?
Yeah, yeah, because I thought I tested it out, but I actually didn't, and I gaslit myself.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. I guess you know what? I'll switch over to Nintendo now because I feel like we'll just continue this train of 3DSs and DSs. So I'm gonna go and finish out the Persona DS line as the Persona talk now. So first off, here's my little carrying case. This is the Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth, and this was a little crossover that they had with Persona 4 and Persona 3, where they had both of the casts kind of combined together to make like a fun little dungeon crawler crossover event. A lot of people either say it's fun or a lot of Persona fans don't really like it, but either way, this was a nice little case that I came with when I actually bought my new quote unquote 3DS. And as you probably were going to guess, it's going to be a Persona themed 3DS as well. This was the limited edition Persona Q 3DS, and this thing is just awesome looking. This is a second gen 3DS model because it doesn't have the little nub on the inside to kind of play the games in another mode. But I do like this one a lot more than the later gen models because I just like having this down here. But I didn't like the fact that this volume bar is also a slider. I'm not a huge
Oh
fan of
yeah.
that. But overall, 3D stuff makes me sick. So I never use the 3D, like I think scanner once. And this is kind of like my new play one. As you can see, this is my one that I'm playing currently, Pokemon Moon on. And just like you showed off earlier with the uh, DSi, like it did have like the little built-in kind of little crossbar right here as well that I really did enjoy. But yeah, the 3DS, one of the better consoles again out there for JRPGs and everything else of that sort. And um, I love this. The 3DS is usually my travel console for some reason. I just don't like traveling with like my Vita or my PSP. Those are like the kind of stay-at-home consoles. But this is definitely the one that I like the most. Is my 3DS and DS. You know, now it's my go-to travel console. Um, do you have a favorite 3DS game by any chance?
Um, let's see. That's tricky because the 3DS was another great console for me. I had a lot of fun games I played on it. Um, I don't know. I mean, I gotta take a look over there to see what I really enjoyed on the 3DS. Um, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite one because I liked a lot of them, but some of the highlights would be they brought a lot of the 64 games like Ocarina of Time came to the 3DS, as well as like Majora's Mask came to the 3DS. Star Fox 64 also came to the
Yep.
3DS. Um, Majora's Max, excluding that game, the other two games are really well made for the 3DS. So those were a lot of fun to play. The Mario and Luigi series also kind of returned to the 3DS with both two sequels and two remasters. And I've played three out of the four there, and they're fantastic on the 3DS. They're like perfect, pretty much. Like the graphics and like the sound, the audio chip that they use, and everything else like works really well, except for one game. But and then actually, you know what? I guess I could say one of my favorite games on the 3DS was either Pokemon Y or Alpha Sapphire. I
Mm.
I know a lot of people weren't a big fan of when Pokemon went to like 2D to 3D. I really liked just how it looked, the charm of it, the chibi type characters on the 3DS. But I think like Alpha Sapphire or Mega Ruby looks a bit better because
Mm-hmm.
it was a later game that was released, so they were able to work with the 3D technology a bit more and do more with it. And I think those games look really good, especially since I was a big Gen 3 fan playing
Mm-hmm.
Ruby back in the day. So I would say, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with probably Alpha Sapphire's my favorite 3DS game as of right now. Um, but yeah, the 3DS man had a massive library of just fantastic games. And also it was backwards compatible with the DS.
Yes, I know. That's like the one of the best parts about it is unfortunately we lost a Game Boy and Game Boy Advance support, but we still kept the amazing library of the DS. And like I'm with you, man. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. After playing X and Y, I just realized Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is just the superior version to play with the Mega Pokemon and everything else like that. Um, Trico is my favorite starter Pokemon of all time. So seeing him get a mega evolution with Skeptile and just overall just the amount of fun and craziness that they put in there with the Delta episode, Mega Rayquaza, it just kind of blows the doors off of, X and Y from that standpoint as well. And plus they made it actually kind of worth replaying.
Yeah, the all the post game stuff was fantastic. Traveling around was a lot of fun too, like how you can fly around to the different locations. After you like unlock it. I had a lot of fun playing it. I really need to return and replay it, but it was definitely a remaster or I don't know. I guess it's called a remaster or a remake. Excuse me, a
Yeah,
remake
remake.
done right, in my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely was. And also, as I always try to drum the for this game, I stand for it. If you haven't heard of it, this game yet, Project Cross Zone is one of the more unique and weird games that probably ever was made. And I think you and I might agree a little bit on this, but you also had a really great library of Fire Emblem games as well.
Oh yeah, the 3DS, like they took it to the next level with Fire Emblem. So of course they went from 2D to 3D, and they Fire Emblem was about to die on the 3DS. Fire Emblem Awakening was like their last hurrah, and they didn't know if they were gonna survive after that as a
Hmm.
series. And it came back, and it just like really revived the whole franchise. And Fire Emblem Awakening, fantastic game. I got to play it 2 years ago now, and I know you really enjoyed that game. I
Hmm.
really enjoyed it. And then after that, you have Fire Emblem Fates, which is basically like two games plus a third game. So they kind of went the Pokemon style, where you can play like two games plus a third game to see like three different stories.
Hmm.
And then after that, they actually did a remake of a Fire Emblem 2, which was known as Fire Emblem Gaiden in Japan because it was only a Japan game. But on the 3DS, they called it Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. I have yet to play that game, but it looks really cool. I tried. I played a little bit of it, because before the 3DS shop was shut down, I wanted to buy the DLC for that game.
Yeah.
And you needed to basically play the game just a little bit to be able to unlock the DLC menu or whatever. And I was like really impressed by it because I've seen the opening to Fire Emblem 2. And I was like, oh wow, they've like really knocked it out of the park with like just a revamping of it or remaking of it. Oh, and then oddly enough, they brought Fire Emblem Warriors to the 3DS. Now that was for the new 3DS, so the one that has the better 3D as well as the little like thumbstick for the camera.
The nub.
I don't think that game runs really well, but I mean, it's on the 3DS back in the day if you wanted to play a game like that. So yeah, anyways, that was on there. Am I missing a Fire Emblem game? I think that was basically all of them for the 3DS.
No, I think you got all three, or
Yeah,
basically five.
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that is them. Yeah, so Fire Emblem, of course, you had Metroid that came to the 3DS in a like a remaster or a remake. Excuse me, it was actually a remake. Um, Just and then on top of that, the 3DS had the eShop where you can actually download full games. Like you can purchase an actual game and download a full game onto the 3DS. And towards the end of the 3DS, they started releasing like the original Pokemon games. So you could play like Pokemon Red and Blue on the 3DS.
Yep.
They also started adding more of the retro games like the Super Nintendo, the NES, of course. Um, they did do the Game Boy stuff, but I'll explain later when I do my console. But anyways, the 3DS overall between physical and digital had like a fantastic library, just an impressive library.
Yes, yes, it really did. And just to kind of throw this out too, for anyone that's also wondering, this is styled like the tarot cards that you get at the end of every battle in Persona 3 and 4. So that's why it's also really cool to me. I just love the blue, and just wanted to show off the inside a little bit. You got
Yeah, I like that. I love the 3DS like limited edition consoles. They're all really neat.
They're all really cool. So let me pack this away. Bring this out here real quick. And that's the end of all my Persona geekiness. So going forward, there will be no Persona for the Persona haters out there. Awesome, awesome. All right, well, we're going to shoot it back to you, Mr. AC. What you got?
Yeah, so we'll stick with 3DS because my next three are basically 3DS consoles here. So this is the original 3DS model. So it's small. It's about the same size as the DSi right here.
Yeah.
Um,
Super
and
glossy, too. Like, that's another thing about those
yeah,
early 3DS models. They were glossy as sin.
yeah. This thing's awesome though. For again, you had the power, like the full power of 3D gaming now in handheld. And it was a fantastic console. Now, it had a rocky start to it. It's well known that when this came out, it was a bit too expensive for people. So, Nintendo dropped the price after like X amount of months, I think it was.
Yeah.
And if you were one of the early purchasers of this console, you were able to get basically free games from Nintendo because like they reimbursed you from the money that you spent, and those free games were actually Game Boy Advance games, which that the only way to play Game Boy Advance games was from that reimbursement that Nintendo sent out to people. I don't remember the full list, but let's just say they were like first party Nintendo Game Boy Advance games, so they're already well worth it. Um, yeah, so another interesting thing is around this time that this came out was the Legend of Zelda 20. Oh boy, I'm gonna get fired for this. It was either the 20th anniversary or the no, it was the 30th anniversary. I'm so sorry. It was the 30th anniversary, and they released to this day it's really dumb, but they released a timed game where and they've done this before or later, but it was the Four Swords game for the Game Boy Advance, but you could play it on the 3DS, and it was designed that you can play by yourself because the original Four Swords game required you to play with two people at minimum. But the 3DS version, which was like the anniversary edition, basically, you could play by yourself, and it was really cool. And and it was a free download, by the way. It's not on this console, unfortunately. It's not on any of my consoles. It was on my brother's, I think, 3DS at the time. So the only really way to play it is to surf the internet for it. But that was like a really cool thing that they had. It was a timed event. Once again, the 3DS came with SD card expansion, so you can increase the storage because of all those downloaded games now. It had an oddly enough, it had an IR like what do you call this? Like an IR reader on it.
Yeah, IR
So
scanner.
yeah, because there's a lot of interesting things that they did with the 3DS. So they did like the AR card. So if you put like an AR card down, you can scan the AR card and then you'll see like a 3D figure pop out. And they also had like some AR games on here as well. But yeah, there was just I mean, it was a fun console to play. This one in particular, this is my pre-military console that I bought off of somebody when I had like my part-time job, and it had Fire Emblem Awakening on it, but it was a digital version tied to his
Mm.
account.
Ah.
And when I reset the console to my account, obviously I lost access to that. But I don't remember. I don't even remember what my first 3DS game was. I think I just used it as a DS, like for my DS, and then I knew that I was joining the military, so I was gonna have money and I could buy like a 3DS game for this. But um, yeah. Anyways, really cool console. I played this, but eventually I upgraded to something a bit better.
Yeah, I can probably remember mine was definitely like Pokemon X and Y or some, nonsense like that. It was just Pokemon. That's just
Uh,
really what it is.
One thing I will say, the one I just showed on screen, I will mod that just so that I can unlock it because it is region locked, and I'll use that as my Japanese like console to play Japanese games.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So we're gonna keep the 3DS hype train going, and this one actually is my wife's. I'm gonna show off now. Uh, the funny story behind this one is I got a really good bonus from work one day, and I went incredibly insane retro collecting. And when we got back from retro collecting, my wife basically gave me the good old wife eyes and said to me, "Well, what do I get? You went out there and you bought all this stuff for yourself, but what do I get?" So I told her, "Well, just go on eBay, kind of go look around and see what you can find." So she settled on this 3DS right here, and this 3DS is the limited edition Animal Crossing 3DS, as anyone could probably guess by the little leaves and everything there too. It's the same way on the back, and this is her basically her travel DS. I think she even has like a little cutesy girl background too. We're gonna show off. Let me see here if it'll load. For some reason, this one feels like it takes a little bit longer to load too. And this is also another Gen 2 model. And there it is. You got the little Pikachu and the snowman Pikachu and the little snow theme back there. Um, like I said, this is kind of like one of one of the cute reasons why I wanted to show this off. If anyone's wondering what's going on here, as you could probably see that this is very sun and moon themed. Let me turn off that 3DS little thing there because it has all the Alola starters in the background, the little Nebby guy, and everything else there too. This is what she takes when she plays in bed or something like that. And currently, she's trying out Pokemon Ranger, as you can see. But I don't know if she's going to bring this with on vacation or not. But yeah, that's basically the long and short of this one. Is my wife said, "What do I get?" and she got what she wanted. She's a giant Animal Crossing fan, and I don't even know if people know that they actually did make a Animal Crossing game on the 3DS and gave it a limited edition console too.
Is that shell? Is that matte? Is it like a matte finish?
Um, I think it's just basic. I don't think it's matted.
Okay, because like all the 3DSs are like glossy, and it doesn't look glossy, so um, it looks like really smooth to
Yeah,
to rub.
yeah, it is very smooth. This is not exactly trying to take down an airplane pilot kind of 3DS that we got here. Yeah,
That's
but
really neat. I like the simple design and the different symbols they got on there.
yeah, very very minimalistic. Gets the job done, and definitely not a 3DS. I think people really see. To be honest with you, this I didn't even know they made one of these, and it wasn't until my wife was really hammering home. She actually got this in the box too. So we actually have the original box that this came in as well, hidden away somewhere here, I think.
That's pretty cool.
So that's my wife's little 3DS. I wanted to show that off, even though it's not technically mine. You know, as all women like to say, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. So we're gonna throw it back to you there, Mister AC. You got another game console you like to show us?
Yeah, so finally we're gonna hit a limited edition console. I finally have one I can show off, and this one is very special to me because this was my, I guess, excuse me, my gift to myself for graduating basic training and surviving 8 weeks without video games. And what we got here is the Super Smash Brothers 3DS edition.
Ooh.
And yes, I love this thing. I had a blast playing it. I even snuck it onto the bus with me because basically, once you graduate basic training, you get shipped off to like your tech school. So it's either like you go by bus or you go by plane. Um, and I was worried that if I put this in my suitcase, then I wouldn't have anything to play on the bus ride to the next base. So I snuck this into my like backpack or whatever
Mm-hmm.
on the final night, and then I was able to play this on the bus ride over to the next base. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, when I graduated, they gave us 1 day, excuse me, they gave us 1 day to go off the base with our family. And so I chose to go to GameStop after not seeing them for 8 weeks. Or like I said, I would need to go to GameStop and pick this up because this was back in 2014, and that was when Super Smash Brothers was coming out for the 3DS and the Wii U, and of course I was like super hyped by this. And I mean, look at this. I mean, this is really cool. It's got like
It's
the
gorgeous,
characters
yeah.
on here. Now there is a blue version of this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just the colors blue, like as well as the back here. But I think it still has the same art on the front here. Um, but yeah, talk about an advancement in technology. Now you're able to play Super Smash Brothers on a handheld device. I mean, that is pretty neat. I'll turn it on. I don't play with this anymore, but I'll just turn it on for the heck of it. I don't even know what the background theme is. I did get a different 3DS about a year or 2 years later, 3 years later, and I gave this one to my sister so she can hang out with or have fun with it. I'll turn down the volume on here, but yeah. So she just played whatever she wanted on here. She bought a couple games with it, but um, yeah, there's not really a whole lot to say other than like this was like just a gift to myself here. So
Yeah, and that's another Gen 2 model too, as you can see.
oh yes, Gen 2 model, my bad. It has like the buttons down here as well as the slider for the audio and also the slider for the Wi-Fi, which is a bit interesting in itself. So turn that off for right now. Um yeah, that's really it. I mean, I love this thing. I just keep it on my shelf as a display. And yeah, I mean, this was what a time to me. This was pretty exciting time to be alive.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. I would have wanted that one too, but as everyone's kind of seen, I kind of picked the better ones for that suit my personality more. I'm not saying that yours is bad or anything because it is a beautiful 3DS.
Well, I mean, at that time, so this time of Nintendo 3DS's family, that is like the Gen 2 model, and that time is when they actually started making a lot of different like limited edition consoles or versions
Mm-hmm.
of that model. So you had there was one, it was a Super Nintendo version, which was pretty cool. It had like
Yes,
the colors of the buttons were the same and
that's
like
a
the design
gorgeous
of
one.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course you had I don't have it and I would like to get a model of it, but they released a 2DS, and basically the 2DS was just the 3DS without the 3D feature built into it. And they released some really cool like colored ones as well as some limited edition ones that were the
Mm-hmm.
2DS model.
Yeah.
Of course, the Pokemon ones. There were some really cool 3DS Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
like limited edition ones. You had the Metroid one, which is really cool looking as
It's
well.
so expensive now. They're all so expensive, the 3DSs. It's
Y-
insane.
Yeah, the Zelda had well, technically Zelda has three limited edition consoles, but there's one for this form, this model, the original one, and
Yep.
then two for the previous one that both you and I showed off that they
Mm-hmm.
made a 3DS of. So, um, yeah, anyways, like 3DS had a lot of cool customization to it. Like the next one I'll show off, I have a different background to it, but yeah, you could change the theme in the background, and it had different music as well depending on the theme.
Yep.
The street pass thing, which is basically like if you leave your 3DS on and you walk around the neighborhood, you can like connect with other people that have a 3DS, and then you can do some like some interesting like social, not social media, but some social connectivity type stuff with it. Um, I know like AJ, our buddy AJ, he was like really big into that. He explained it to me on a 3DS show that I had with him a long time ago. But uh, anyways, there was like a lot of cool like extra things you can do with the 3DS back in the day.
Yeah. Shout out AJ. We need to get him back on. I'm happy that he's
Yes.
back. But yeah, no. Really, really amazing. Like you said, a lot of really amazing collector edition consoles. I had the Sun and Moon 3DS, and I sold it like a dummy.
Oh,
And you know, it happens. Sometimes you
yeah.
run into those patches where you run out of money and you have to make sacrifices.
Yes.
Yes, mistakes were made. But I'm going to keep the 3DS train going. But first, I want to show off my little 3DS carrying case that I bring with me. And they actually made this really fun Nintendo Game Boy carrying case. This is what I call the Road Warrior because I bring this case with me when I go on the road with this 3DS usually in there. The TSA agents, they get a kick out of it. They always go like, "Is that a real Game Boy?" I'm like, "No, it's a carrying case," and it always blows their mind every time I go through security. But the 3DS inside of it actually is my Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate 3DS, and this is actually going to be the first Gen 3 model that you're going to see on here because it actually does have the little nub. And instead of the games going in on the top, they go in on the bottom this time, like here. But yeah, this model. Obviously, this is my Road Warrior. This is what I bring with me everywhere. The paint has been scraped off of it a few times. I've lost the stylus because the stylus got so worn out, and it's on the bottom. So like, I'll be playing it like this, and like it'll just fall out all over the place. I have to buy a new stylus for it. But yeah, this is just my go-to model. This is the one I love to play. It has all my DLC in here. I need to get a SD card so I can save all that precious 3DS data. And I actually just had a buddy of mine refurbish it, and just going to play this for you here. You can hear this. Nah, you probably can't. It's very, very low. My mic's not picking it up, even at full blast. But it had like the red and blue background here, and it's playing right now the Pokemon battle theme for when you fight. Obviously, you can see I bought a bunch of stuff on the 3DS store before it closed down. A lot of throwback classics here. But the one game I want to kind of give a little shout out here too is this one right here, Attack of the Friday Monsters. Uh, this was a game made by Level 5, and it was only digital for the 3DS. And you can no longer play this game at all anymore. It is effectively dead software. And I actually played this a little bit this year when I went down to Orlando for the first time for our family vacation, and it is a very little joyous, little fun game about like childlike wonderment. It's not like going to break the bank, but it's like an old school 1970s anime, and it probably has a lot more value, I guess I would say, to like probably like older Japanese people, ironically.
Wow,
That's all I just.
that's sad that it's like a dead game because, like you said, it was only on the 3DS online eShop, and then now it's gone. And like literally the only way you can play that is either if you already have it or surfing the internet.
Yep, basically. And like I said, this Monster Hunter going to the Nintendo DS was such a massive coup because before that, during the PSP era, it was like one of the biggest reasons why the PSP was doing so well compared to like the Game Boy Advance and stuff because they actually had Monster Hunter. As a lot of people are learning now, especially you when we kind of sat down and were talking about this, the biggest Capcom game in Japan is Monster Hunter by far.
Yes, 1000%. Yes.
And the best part about this too is we got a lot of amazing Monster Hunter games that came over here to the 3DS. One of them is Monster Hunter Stories, which they just announced the third one about a week ago at the Nintendo Indie Direct or something like. No, it was the
Partner
Nintendo Direct.
showcase.
Yeah,
Partner
partner showcase.
showcase.
Yeah, and my wife absolutely loves these games. Um, I'm happy that they got ported to modern consoles. But yeah, the reason why you saw games like my Soul Sacrifice Vita and everything like that too is the Vita actually had to like make a bunch of Monster Hunter clones to try to attract people over, but they just lost out to that market share when Monster Hunter went straight to Nintendo.
Yeah, what was really weird about Monster Hunter on the 3DS is that they would release a game and then like a year later they would like repackage it with some extra stuff and then re-release it again. So I remember like when I found a bunch for you and I'm like, why are these so cheap? They're like $2 for a 3DS game. And then we looked it up online. It's like because they just kept like repackaging them with like everything together and then like onto a better version of it. So yeah, you go to when I go to like retro hunting out here, I'll just see like shelves filled of just like Monster Hunter for the 3DS. The different versions that they've had of it, the different games there. So yeah, it's crazy like just how much they did for the 3DS. And it probably I would like to see the statistics of like how many 3DSs were sold specifically for Monster Hunter.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's one of the things out there too that I would like to see a breakdown one day, especially because of these. They made so many limited edition Monster Hunter 3DSs that I think it only Pokemon and Zelda might rival it. To be honest with you.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that because I don't well then again I wasn't paying attention to like Capcom stuff or Monster Hunter, but that's crazy that that's the case then because I've always seen like Pokemon and Zelda back in the day at least. Now I'm a bit more aware, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But also, like I said, I think most of the cool Monster Hunter ones were only Japan exclusive, just like the cool Pokemon ones. So if you ever become a fan, you're in luck.
Better start studying Japanese.
Exactly.
I love, by the way, that Game Boy case because it looks like a Pelican case. Like
I
the way that it
know.
like folds in and everything, and you got the game slots at the top there too.
Yeah, and also I love this part too. Like I said, this is my Road Warrior. All right, I've dropped this case so many times, and the DS inside of it's just like, yeah, who cares? I
Yeah,
I
there's like
love
no padding on the inside too, so that's just like straight contact, and the full vibration of the impact is felt.
Yeah, no, I just got this Game Boy. I'm not Game Boy. This 3DS also just tuned up by a buddy of mine. He cleaned out the little readers for the pins, and I think he did a lot more stuff. But yeah, it's definitely got a tune up, so it's ready to go to the next trip that I'll be taking at the end of this month. That's for sure. All right, so I'm guessing you got your Gen 3 model now too.
Yep, this is my final 3DS/DS model that I'll show.
Oh, sorry.
And this one I actually have a plastic case on it because
Ooh.
they did not make a Zelda new 3DS model. So I put a plastic shell around it. But this is like the new 3DS, so it's this like a basic dark gray. But yeah, this shell's pretty cool. It's definitely kept it intact for the most part. Um, but yeah, other than like to not like go over a whole lot of what you said, one thing you did miss out on. I mean, you did briefly talk about is the expansion. So back on from the DSi to the second gen 3DS, your expansion was done through the external right here.
Hmm.
So you could throw in the SD card and you're done. When they got to the new 3DS, they decided, how about we put it behind the bottom plate here? And in order to get to it, you need to unscrew like two screws to pop out the bottom plate. But this time we'll give you guys a micro SD card slot, so you could put a micro SD
Oh
card in there.
yeah, that's right. You were telling me about this.
Yeah, and it's kind of like your modern phones, right? Like your Android phones have that, so that's how it is for the new 3DS. As you can see here, I have the Zelda 30th anniversary edition here, which you can't even see it. Nope, I can't even show it. I was going to show you the. Oh no, I can. There we go. There's this 30th anniversary
Oh
edition. It's playing the
wow.
Zelda music as well. Um, yeah, this is just something I really liked about the 3DS was like these themes. They had themes for everything. I didn't collect all the themes. I only collected the Zelda one. Big
Yeah.
mistake on my end, but I just think it's really neat. So, um, besides that, let me zoom in actually. Um, Yeah, like right now I'm playing Bionicle Heroes on this. Now the reason why I'm playing it is because it's a first-person shooter game, and you get to use this with it, and it's much easier to use this than to use the D-pad for moving around.
Yeah.
So, one thing I do want to try, because the original 3DS has it. I'm pretty sure it was the original 3DS. You could get a double analog stick for the right side,
Yeah.
and what I would like to try is I would like to play this Bionicle Heroes game or even Metroid Prime Hunters with double analog stick on the 3DS, and I'm kind of curious how that would play. I think
Yeah.
it'd probably play pretty well, but um, I don't know why I have the internet on here because the internet will drain your battery. Let me turn that off real quickly. Um, yeah, as you can see, now I will say, sadly, most of my 3DS game collection is digital because a lot of these I bought early on, and then when the 3DS shop was closing down, I quickly went and bought the rest of them digitally. So a lot of these are all digital, but yeah, I mean I have them at least, so there's that. Yeah. Anyways, besides this, I'm trying to think of another interesting fact about this. There were demos on here you can play, by the way. So like there were some demos you can play. Um, yeah, I mean that's really it. So this is my go-to. Yours is the travel one. Like this one is basically my travel one as well.
Yeah.
I'll take this outside with me because it's got the shell on it, and yeah. So this one I bought for myself. A couple years after I bought the Smash Brothers one, and that's the one I sent to my sister. And then when she came to visit me a couple years ago, she brought that back with to me, and then she also gave me the games that she bought for it as well. So I have a couple more 3DS physical 3DS games, but not a whole lot. Um, Luckily, I have most of the Pokemon physically, so
Right.
um, oh, actually, you know what? My bad. We forgot to talk about how the 3DS was the first time that you can have the Pokemon Bank and like a wireless
Oh yeah.
service, which I think I have it on here, but I think it's shut down now because they moved it to Pokemon Home.
Hmm.
But basically, you could store your Pokemon digitally through like the cloud or whatever it was, and then you could transfer it between the different games that were compatible. And that was like a really cool feature. Now you did have to pay for it, but if you're a big Pokemon fan, that was definitely a big benefit for you if you wanted to be able to store all your Pokemon and then like restart your save your games and then like recatch them all over again. So
Yeah.
yeah,
The way you say Pokemon always makes me laugh because it sounds so Californian.
Pokemon.
Pokemon. Going out
I don't
surfing with my Pokemon.
I don't know why I say it like that. Just
I
it
don't
is
know
what it
either. It
is.
just always makes me laugh though. But no, that's really nice. Everyone's got a Road Warrior console. that they always bring with them everywhere, and it's funny that both of ours are kind of just 3DSs at this point.
Yes. Well, because it plays both DS and 3DS games, and if you already downloaded a bunch of games like from the eShop, I mean, you got like quite the console there to play anywhere.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? It's like I think out of all the consoles that we've shown today, the 3DS has the worst battery life out of all of them.
You know what? You're not wrong. For DS games, it does fine, but yeah, for 3DS games, it will burn out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way on the first trip to Hawaii when I was on that 8 hour plane ride, and it died within like 2 hours, and I was like, "Well, now what am I gonna do?" I was so mad. I was like,
Yeah,
What am I gonna do? Argue with people on Twitter? Because that's all I did after
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
uh,
yeah. Thankfully, you can buy. You could still buy them even here in Japan. The 3DS charger to USB, so
yes,
then you can charge it that way.
I've corrected my rookie mistake for next time. Yes. All right, very cool. All right, I'm gonna take over now, and I'm gonna show off the first PSP console on our list here, and this one right here was the impulse buy. Actually, this was my God of War limited edition PSP console. This was either for Ghost of Sparta or Chains of Olympus. Those were the two PSP spin-off games. I actually went to a video game convention out here called the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I was there with one of my buddies, and I was kind of just like doing good. And then I walked by a booth, and they're selling this particular thing complete in box for $200. And it came with the game, one that I can't remember. It's one of the two God of War ones, and a copy of Superbad.
Interesting.
Yes, it actually came with a movie copy of Superbad, and this is my collection kind of PSP. I don't really play it too much. This one doesn't have a cool background or anything like that to show off for this one. Not like my other one that I'll show off after this. I think it's dead, but I'll explain more about that later. But yeah, I remember I eighth grade graduation. I took all my money and I went out and I got a PSP, and I just remember playing games like Need for Speed and like another really crappy game like that. But ironically enough, I used my PSP more as like a music player, and I used it to watch movies a lot more because they wouldn't buy me games for it, but they bought me a bunch of those UMD movie discs as well.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I remember like I forgot who I had on who was talking about this, but every PSP came with like a different like music video like media thing as well that you could play. I remember it was like Code Heat and Cambria was one of the music videos, and it was the Blood Red Summer was what I got with it. So I would listen to that over and over and over again on like long road trips and just play this like weird Need for Speed game. But the PSP was one of the better handheld consoles in the history. They did a whole bunch of fun crossovers with things like Killzone, Resistance, God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter. It got the best version of Persona 3, in my opinion, and that was Persona 3 Portable. That was also on there. And it also had the ability to play PlayStation 1 games as well. Like you could play Silent Hill on your PSP for a point in time as well, too, from a digital download.
Yeah, I can't, unfortunately I can't talk too much about the PSP because that is my most recent handheld, but
Hmm.
I remember at least being around and seeing it and thinking like, wow, that is a really cool piece of technology, and it uses like discs, and the fact that like, yeah, you can listen to music with it. Like, it was like a cheaper iPod because you can play video games, listen to music, and watch movies on it. And I always thought like that was a really cool console back in the day, but I was stuck with Nintendo products, so I can always dream from afar or admire from afar. Excuse me.
Yeah, these were also very fun because they were very mod friendly, so everyone and their mother modded them. I'm thinking about modding this particular one, just because it's only kind of just there to like be looked at. Also, another thing too, if you're collecting PSPs, always make sure to check your batteries because these batteries have a tendency to go bad and puff up. and they will brick your console.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So I also region free, except for UMD movies, they are not region free. So you can still play the games, you just cannot play the movies. That's a little tidbit collection there too. And they had a really good library of movies. Ironically enough, like they had the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. They had like a bunch of horror movies. I think one of the movies I was introduced to was I got Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure on here for Christmas one year, and I was like, and I watched it on my little PSP, so it was kind of funny. Um,
Bro,
Sorry, go.
Pirates of the Caribbean movies, say less. I gotta go get those now.
Oh man, you can find them at dollar Goodwills and everywhere. I've been thinking about picking them up more just to start building that collection.
Also, because it's super easy to mod, I'm pretty sure you can actually bypass the region lock because of the modding. I would imagine so. Otherwise, what's the point of modding other than to
Yeah.
download stuff? But yeah, I'm gonna look into that some more. But if that's the case, then I definitely want some of those Pirates movies.
Yeah, but one more thing too before I go. Like I said before, my favorite PSP game was Persona 3 Portable. Uh, love that game so much. And that was a PlayStation Portable exclusive for a very long time. So into the case it goes, and we're gonna throw it back to Mr. AC over here.
Yeah, so this one is finally also my first non-Nintendo handheld, and this is actually one you gifted me, and I'm very thankful for it because it actually opened my world up to a bunch of new games that I'm slowly trying to get into. But yes, the good old PS Vita, and this is the OLED model.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been quite the journey, just playing a lot of new PlayStation titles that I never really grew up playing and just having fun with it. I bought this plastic shell for it just to protect it, and I
It's
also bought this what do you call this, like thumbstick cover. It doesn't work well on this left one, especially because when I was playing like Sly Cooper and I had this thumbstick cover on it, when I would try to run forward, he would not sprint. He would like crawl or like walk. And that's like a no-go because I need to be able to run at any given moment. So um but no, I've had a lot of fun playing the Vita. I think the battery life's pretty decent on it.
yes.
Um Everything about it's interesting. The back touchscreen buttons or whatever this is, I have no idea how this works. Um, I still haven't figured it out. But anyways, those are buttons on the back, and
Yeah.
um, yeah. Besides that, the fact that you can the Vita store is still active, so you can actually buy PS1 classics, which I plan on doing, and also PSP games as well, like digital PSP games is really neat. Of course, it's still a physical console, so you can throw in like a physical game. Um, and it's been fun. It's region free, so I've been able to play. I've been playing some Japanese titles as well as the some of the American titles that I have, and um, yeah, I love this thing, and I have a nice. You gave me that case as well, and that case is really nice. It's perfect for traveling around with it. So,
Mm.
um,
Ironically, I think that came from Japan. That case, so it went home.
yeah. Besides that, I haven't really taken the time to explore like everything else. Like I noticed it has a camera here as well as here. So
Yes.
there's some other like features with it because I didn't really grow up with this, so I have to like discover it on my own. But overall, I've been very impressed with this console, and um, I'm just really looking forward to playing like some other like Vita games as well as like some classic PlayStation 1 games too.
And that just to let you know, that is also a limited edition PlayStation Vita as well.
Yes, I've already told me this because it's really funny because it looks like a basic white console,
Mm-hmm.
but you said this was like the Assassin's Creed limited edition PS
Yes.
Vita,
Yeah,
even
it
though they
was.
didn't even bother putting like like any kind of art or stencil on it.
Nope. Yeah, the funny part about it is how I got that Vita before I sent it to you is I actually bought a black Vita from GameStop when I was working there at the time, and about like a couple days later, I noticed this white Vita just chilling in the corner. I'm like, I've never seen a white Vita, so I was like, can I just trade my swap it with my coworker? He's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So later did I find out that that was a limited edition Assassin's Creed Vita, and yeah, if you're looking for a good game to test out all the features on the Vita, There's a game made by Media Molecules called Tearaway that I played this year, and it is really crazy just like how much like effort they put into this thing just for it to die. They put a camera on the front, a camera on the back. They got this crazy touch pads in the back. Like you had all this like crazy fun stuff. Like you could take pictures of yourself and put them on your little me guys or whatever the equivalent was for Sony. And oh, you're playing Gundam. Ooh,
Yeah, I'll
nice.
just show while you're chatting.
And it's just like a bunch of cool stuff there too. Ooh, Gundam seeds, nice. I think that's my favorite Gundam show. To be honest with you, that or Wing.
It's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent show.
Yeah, but yeah, no. I always tell everyone go out there and get a Vita. Just go out there and experience the joy. There's still some life in it. I know a lot of Vita games are kind of getting ported now to the Switch and PC, like Freedom Wars and all this other stuff. But it is by far one of the more fun, consoles out there to just own. It is sad that this died because I think a Vita that's like kind of like a Switch would be like a massive game changer for Sony. But sadly, I don't think we'll ever see it again. We get stuck with the stupid Portal, which sucks.
Yeah, because this actually had the PlayStation TV kind of like add-on or adapter, whatever you want to call it, where
hmm
you could connect it. I don't know, was it wireless or wired? Do
It
you
was
know?
wired.
Okay, so it's wired, and you can basically play PS Vita on your TV through this device. Another interesting way you can actually do that too is through the PS4. The PS4, actually, my bad, it's the opposite way. You could play a PS4 game and have it wirelessly connected to your Vita, and then you can use the Vita as like kind of like the portal, like you mentioned earlier. It's interesting, but there is definitely like some input delay, a tad input delay, depending on how far away you are, of course. And it's just like a really interesting like piece of technology that they had. Like, where the portal is just like a controller, right? An overpriced controller with a screen,
hmm
whereas the Vita is an actual console that you could still play like its own games on. So I always thought that was kind of neat that the Vita had this like kind of like technology with it, with and also the Vita, or excuse me, the PlayStation TV was like an extra thing you can do with it.
Yeah,
Um these are just some of the games I have on it. So of course the Persona 4 that you sent to me, I bought the Yeast game and I finished it. Gundam, Warriors, Dragon's Crown. This is the Japanese version one that I started playing a little bit of.
nice.
Minecraft I got just because it was really cheap. The Luminous or Lumens one and Sly one you also sent me. And then I also picked up. This is Trails of Cold Steel here,
Oh, nice.
part two actually. And then Ragnarok Odyssey, which I got it for dirt cheap because I thought the cover art looked pretty cool. And I haven't tried it yet. And then, of course, good old Lego Ninjago, which that was actually really fun to play on the Vita. I'm not gonna lie, and I like to try to collect more Lego games if they have any more that
Oh,
are
they got a
that
bunch of Lego games on the Vita. I see them everywhere I go.
cool. So I know what I'm gonna be collecting next. So yeah, that's it for the Vita. I like it. I look forward to playing or doing more with it, I should say.
All right, cool, cool. I'm gonna pop up over here now, and we're gonna continue the theme of why I like my PSPs. And I got myself the Monster Hunter Ultimate 3 PSP right here, with the good old Zenogre looking little images back here. And this is like a very well branded console. If you see a little bit closer here, the little speaker ports are little Palico Paws, so they really went full out on this one. Now this was a Japan only one, and unfortunately this battery's dead. But when you turn it on, it actually had a limited edition background that was playing too. That had like the Monster Hunter theming and stuff too. So they really went all out with this one. And like I said, this Monster Hunter was really huge on the PSP. I think they had like 3 games that were mainline, and then they had a bunch of spin-off games that were focused on the Palicos that only came to Japan. That were also made by FromSoft, ironically enough, if you didn't know that. But yeah, this is just this is my road console, the one I play most on. This is actually has a game in there too. This is what the little disc looked like, and for anyone who was wondering what it was, I got Final Fantasy Tactics in here as well. So
That console is super slick. I is that also a matte finish on it?
this one is definitely a matte finish because these are like more rubbery, versus like the God of War one was more like just slick plastic. Like these are very comfortable. Like this whole console feels like it's coated in a rubber finish. You
Yeah,
know?
it looks like really premium from like just the camera here. I love the coloring. Like it got the gold accent with just the straight black for everything.
Yeah.
I mean that is a really nice color scheme for the PSP. Like when I think of PSP, like I think of this, like that kind of coloring and just the sleekness of it. So that is really cool.
Yeah. And like I said, this was like I had to have it. There's so many cool PSPs out there too that if you're looking for like fun collector ones. I know that there's a few Monster Hunter ones. There's a lot of Final Fantasy ones. I think there's a Crisis Core one that you and I were talking about, right?
Yeah, that's the one I want to buy. If I buy another, like my next limited collector's one, it's going to be the Final Fantasy, the Crisis Core one.
Yeah, and on top of that too, like Crisis Core was a great PSP exclusive as well, and it's kind of weird for meta that you could play Crisis Core and watch Advent Children on the PSP at one point.
Yeah, I mean that's how they basically pack or they sold it, right? Or like they packaged it.
Yeah,
But yeah, like uh anyways, yeah, that console I really want to get it because it comes with some cool stuff with it. And I think it was a download code, but you could play the original Final Fantasy VII on the PSP through it too.
yeah, like the Final Fan, like Square Enix supported this console a lot, especially with Final Fantasy. Like the DS felt like it was Dragon Age, but the PSP was for Final Fantasy. They
You
had
mean Dragon Quest?
Sorry, I said Dragon Age. Sorry,
Yeah.
Dragon Quest. That's what I meant.
No, but you are right. You are right. Dragon Quest was definitely bigger for the DS, and then the PSP got the Final Fantasy treatment.
Yeah, they got a lot of spin-off games and that. And also, fun fact, there I almost wish I could have bought this just to add it to my collection. But they had I when I was at the Midwest Gaming Classic, I found a Stellar Artois, which is a beer, PSP that was given out apparently as a limited edition contest or something. So I think only like 100 of those were made, and I wish I had the money to buy it.
Wow.
But yeah, that should do it for my. That will be all my Sony handheld consoles there, and now we can throw it back over to Mr. AC.
Yeah, so I've got two more left, and this is my final limited edition handheld. Like I said, I only have two limited edition handhelds, and this is going to be my
Ooh,
Switch Lite, my Zelda Switch Lite. That funny story about this. When I first saw the Switch Lite, I was like, this thing looks like a waste of money. Like, why would you want to play this only on the go? Like, only on the go. And then when they came out with the Zelda one, I'm like, well, listen, I'm going to buy the Zelda one because I want to start collecting Zelda consoles again. I have the Tears of the Kingdom version OLED, but that one I don't care to show it off today. But I wanted to get this one, and I'm gonna eat my own words on the what my initial opinion on the usefulness of the Switch Lite, and I'm a believer in the Switch Lite now, only because this thing is way more comfortable to hold than the OLED Switch, than the original Switch, and even the Switch 2. I mean, all of those, they're great consoles, but they're not fun to bring on the go and they're not comfortable to carry around. This thing is very comfortable, and I can hold this like all day and just play whatever game on it all day. And this game really helped me out when I had to do about 3 hours of commuting by train for like this previous gig that I had, and I was able to complete from start to finish several games. One of them being Mario and the Luigi Brothership on this specific Switch Lite.
there we go.
But I've had a blast playing with this, and I still use it. Right now, I'm playing Unicorn Overlord on it, and it does a decent job with that game. As far as like its like design, it just has a basic design on it, which is fine. And the front has the Triforce on it right here. And as you can see, I put some protectors on it because I like to try to keep these as protected as I can. But no, I love the Switch Lite. I like how the Pokemon got some pretty cool models of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who else also got it? Did Mario get one? Uh, I know Zelda, Pokemon. There's one other like game series that got a Switch Lite model, and I can't think of the who it is
Pokemon
right
got
now.
2, Zelda got 1, and I think there was one more.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head, but there. Let's just say that there wasn't enough. I felt like if Nintendo wanted to go crazy with like the themed Switch Lights, they could have, and they really didn't. Because it would have been really cool to bring back. I mean, we saw the 3DSs earlier, right? Like, there's a lot of unique looking 3DSs. They could have
Mm-hmm.
done the same thing with the Switch Lite, and I think that would have probably sold people more on it. I don't know what their strategy is with like the Switch family now, but the Switch Lite could have been like the very customizable type of console. And I really wish that the theming, like the internal theming, they brought back the 3DS type stuff because that would have made this even more popular, I think,
Oh yeah.
in the long run. But anyways, I love the Switch Lite. If you're the type of person that doesn't want to own like a like a Switch to play on your TV because you don't have a TV, I would highly recommend the Switch Lite. It runs a lot of the games pretty well. And it still, by the way, it still uses physical for the game itself as well as the SD card. So everything is still physical for storing and whatnot. So, um, anyways, yeah, I'm very glad I was able to purchase this right away.
Very nice, very nice. You said you had one left after this, right?
Yes, I have one more after this.
All right, I'm going to show off 2 back to back then, and then I'll throw it back to you, and then I'll cap it off, and then we'll wrap up this episode.
Sweet.
So I'm going to show off my LCD Switch models. The first one I want to show off is this one right here. This is my wife's model, and this was the Animal Crossing limited edition Switch model that she got during COVID. And this was like her go-to one. And what I like about this back plating too is that this is actually etched in, so this is all you can feel the little grooves and everything here too. And also, these are just very cool limited edition Joy Cons. It's like a pastel blue and like a very light green, very
Seafoam green.
yeah. You know what? It's like it gives you that seaside vibe that this game does kind of have. But on top of that too, it's like it ironically feels like Easter to me for some reason. It feels like an Easter console. And just want to show off the dock too. The dock was very cute.
Oh yeah, that's
The new
really
theme
nice.
and everything else. This was my wife's Road Warrior. She loves this console to death. Um, I asked her what does she want to do with it now that we got rid of the. No, let me rephrase it. Now that we got the Switch 2, and she just said like she has too much sentimental attachment to it, so we cannot get rid of it unless it becomes real bad. Like, oh man, we're gonna lose the house. We gotta sell something, you know?
Sell the Animal Crossing Island game,
Yes,
or the house management game, I should say.
sell the Switch to save the house. So
Yes.
that's what it looks like as a full thing here. And now let me bring you to my Road Warrior, and that is the uh, Monster Hunter Rise limited edition LCD model for the Switch. Uh, Monster Hunter Rise was a very fun entry into the Monster Hunter universe. It was definitely more Japan themed than anything else because everything was more ninja, and you got to introduced to the Palamutes, which was the dogs you ride around in, and you're gonna see right here. Uh, ooh, oh crap! I forgot the main monster's name right now. Damn. Um, I just had it too, but here's the doc that you game with it as well. Um, oh man, I'm blanking so hard. I got to do this, otherwise I'm gonna get roasted. Oh, Magnamalo. Okay, thank God. But it's the Magnamalo is right here in a nice gold coloring, and if you got the Pro controller too, he was also on the Pro controller as well. But you got that nice little dock with the gold flames and the gold little thing right here. Nothing too special. The the Joy Cons, they weren't too special either. They're literally just the standard issue gray ones, and they just added a little Monster Hunter markings. But this is also just in the collection. I put it right by my Monster Hunter shelf with all my little figurines and amiibos and stuff like that. But yeah, this is my little Monster Hunter pride and joy right here as well. And I just want to ask AC, since I didn't ask this on the last one, what is your favorite Switch game?
That's too hard to even answer, man. Like it's more difficult than like 3DS. There's just the Switch has been a fantastic console. There's been a lot of great games to play on it. Um, I really have to sit down and think like when it comes to the Switch and its form factor, what is a great Switch? What is like a good Switch game to play? A great one. Honestly, off top of my head, for sentimental reasons, I'm gonna have to go with Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, only because I played that game all over again with my wife. We spent like 400 plus hours playing that game. Um, and out of all the games on the Switch, on the basic Switch, I believe it runs the best out of all of them. And it looks really good too, which is like surprising. I don't know how like they were able to do that, but they did it. Like that game runs consistently at like 45 frames or higher. And it looks really good with the coloring and the graphics. I guess you could say the shader, excuse me.
Yeah,
But the co-op, it ran perfect with co-op too. Which you would think a game like a Warriors game that has like hundreds of enemies on the battlefield and you're playing two people at the same time that it would chug. No, it ran fine. It ran perfect, I should say. Um, and that game has so much content to it. Like, I mean, we spent 400 hours playing it, and there's still more we can do. So, um, yeah, I think that's probably my favorite game on the Switch because I played so much with my wife, and also that game I bought on the Wii U back in the day, and the Wii U was another console I bought with my good old GI money, and I have a lot of attachment to it. I guess you can say, like playing Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U by myself, and I was able to introduce it to my wife on the Switch. So, yeah, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition on the Switch is definitely. I'm gonna for right now. It's gonna be my favorite game on the Switch.
very nice, very nice. Mine is going to be Monster Hunter Rise because I think I put like 400 hours into that game as well. Yeah, it
Nice.
was just super fun. Wasn't as fun as World in my opinion, but it was definitely more surprisingly graphically. It looked great, and it was performance wise, it was really great too. It was a consistent 30, but you know, it was super fun. All right, last one for both of us. Fire away.
So yeah, this one is my most recent handheld. Oh no, I have one more after this. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. Bring it.
I made a big mistake here. Sorry. I'm gonna put that last one for later. I am so sorry because I had it on the tower and not on the desk. My bad. So
You're
I
fine.
have technically one more after this. Analog Pocket.
I love that
And
gold color scheme so much.
oh yeah, it's weird. Like the gold is cool, but it kind of comes off a bit green at times. It's a bit hard to explain, but anyways, yeah, this thing is fantastic. So of course it uses FPGA, so you can play original Game Boy games on here. This is actually not a real Game Boy game, but I just have it in here because I'm still working through it. Um, but I use this to play all of my Game Boy games now. I do not play my Game Boy games on my DS anymore or even my Game Boy Advance. I only play it on this, and it has a fantastic screen on it. You can also load like emulators if you care. I don't really care to do that. I really just spent a ridiculous amount of money just to play Game Boy games on it with this really nice screen. What I like about this and I will power it on actually. So it does have SD card support. So of course, if you want to expand the storage on it and do more with it, you can. Um, did I power this on? Pretty sure I did. Oh, it might
Oh
be
no.
dead. Oh,
There
there
we
we
go.
go. Yeah, I had to hold it in. Um, I'm gonna just start the cartridge for now, and then how do I load the save? Actually, it doesn't matter. So this has different how do you call it? Like display modes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you push. Yeah, so we're playing on the analog GBA, and if you cycle through, you can actually change the screen to like original GBA LCD, GBA SP 101, which was like the first model, and that's it for like the GBA. If I go and get a Game Boy Color game, you can actually swap through the different Game Boy slash Game Boy Color screens as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is really neat. Like if you want to experience, like, so for example, if I ever get my hands on it, it's really expensive, but Metroid 2 for the Game Boy, I could probably play it in like all these different screens and it'll look really nice. Same with the Pokemon games. So, anyways, I love this console. Like I said, I'm playing all my Game Boy games on it. The next game I'll be playing on it, which will be Metroid Zero Mission. I'm looking forward to playing it in glorious like LCD like HD screen. It's
Yeah.
gonna be fantastic. Audio's fine on it. There is a port on the bottom here, so it does charge USB-C, which is really cool. But you also have a link cable port here, as well as like
They thought of everything.
you could connect it to your TV with a dock with the USB here. But yeah, they did think about everything here. Um, what else about? Oh, I don't have it on me. It's over there on the floor, but I have a Sega Game Gear expansion for this. So you basically they made adapters. That's what they're called, and you could put
Yes.
an adapter on the top here, and you could play your Sega Game Gear. There's also a couple other adapters you can for other consoles you can play as well. So
Yeah.
that was a really cool thing that they thought up of as well.
If I
So
may cut in, it's also for the Atari Leaks and the Turbo Graphics.
there you go. Yes, the Turbo Graphics. I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't get that one, but that's fine because you can actually get like a core. You can get the Turbo Graphics core on here and just
Mm-hmm.
play it like through emulation. But for right now, I'm not really emulating through this. I'm just gonna play the games as they are. This thing is fantastic. I really am glad I. So the funny thing about this. These guys sell out really quickly,
Yes.
especially when they're like the limited color, like this gold one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was what last year now they did like a Game Boy Color line of this color palette, and I stayed up until like 2 in the morning, I think it was, or maybe 1 a.m. waiting on their website to wait in an online queue to be able to pick this, purchase it right away, and it was well worth it. So, yeah, actually, it was 2 years ago. Actually, yeah, 2 years ago now because my sister brought
Time's
it.
flying, man. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, yeah, time has flown. Yeah, because they don't ship internationally. They really only ship to like the U.S. So my sister had to bring it when she came to visit me, but it was well worth the wait. So I'm very happy with this. I can't wait to play some other games like the other Fire Emblem games, the Castlevania games.
Yeah.
Of course, going back and revisiting my childhood games like Super Mario Advance or um, some of the Sonic games. Like the possibilities are endless, especially with the Game Gear attachment I have. I can play like Game Gear Sonic games, and
Mm-hmm.
at some point I will put on the cores because I want to play. I'm drawing a blank now. Turbo Graphics. I want to play Turbo Graphics on this and see how it plays and whatnot. So yeah, my bad. This is my second to last console, but this is like a really neat piece of modern technology here.
Oh, I love it so much. And like one of my favorite features about it is when you put in a game cartridge, it will tell you when you boot it up which region it is too and everything else. So if you're playing a Japanese version, it'll tell you it's the Japanese version, or it will tell you it's the North American or PAL version. They put a lot of good effort into making that piece of equipment. I love it. It is. Yeah, I sold my Game Boys because of that, basically.
Yeah, like it's just a amazing piece of technology, and that company, like, they've made a analog duo, which is basically their turbo graphics version of the console, like their own console. And a buddy of mine who collects like for turbo graphics, he's like, you're better off buying that analog duo because it's not going to come with all the issues that the turbo graphics and the PC Engine already has, like to maintain it as like an actual console. So maybe in the future I'll pick up a Duo just to play that. They
Mm-hmm.
also have a Super Nintendo version, I think, too.
And an
Um,
N64.
yeah, they're working on the N64 one. That will be really interesting to see how that comes out, like what will be
Mm-hmm.
up with that. But yeah, that Game Boy, that is the best way to play a Game Boy Advance game, a physical Game Boy Advance game, in my opinion.
Even a Game Boy game.
Yes, yeah, Game Boy game. Yep.
Yeah, those the Japanese copies of red and green work like a charm on there too. It's amazing.
Hands down. Yep.
All right, how about you finish this off, and then I got the last one, and we'll wrap it up then.
Yeah, my bad. So this is my most recent console, and talk about probably the best deal I've bought on a console. And yeah, I have now I'm a proud owner of a PSP, and I've been wanting to buy one because there's several games I've been wanting to play on the PSP, like physical games, and so now I finally have one. I bought this for $60, and it came with this silicone case as well as the charger. Obviously, the original PSPs did not come with memory sticks, so I had to go buy a memory stick for about. I bought the what do they call it? The
Memory stick duos.
Yes, sorry, the memory stick duo. I bought one for about less than $10, and then I went to my local like tech store and I bought a micro SD card for it. So I'm ready to go. I already modded it, so just to have it ready to go. I haven't done anything crazy with it, but yeah, the PSP, I'll take it out. Actually, this thing is really clean for like a used model, but that's to be expected with Japanese used products out here. Yeah, it's the silver edition, so I'm not like a color type of guy. Like, I don't really care. I just want something that's affordable. So yeah, this thing's pretty dope. So you got the memory stick card right here, or the holder for it,
Hmm.
as well as you can take out the battery through here, which I don't know if I can do this live. How do you do it? You push it and then what?
Okay,
Push
push
up.
down and yeah.
If I'm gonna do it, because I when you said like make sure you check the battery, I didn't even think about doing that, but um, yeah, here's the battery right
Yeah,
here.
they get puffy, and then you would know because you wouldn't be able to close it.
Well, let's see if I can close it. Oh, hold on a second. uh,
Replacement batteries are cheap too. Don't worry.
well, I heard that replacement batteries for the PSP are a pain because they're like all Chinese made, so they're
Yeah.
not really like the best of qualities.
Well, they're all Chinese made anyway.
Well, no, they're aftermarket. They're like third party ones now.
Yeah.
Yeah, besides that, oh yeah, when I went to the store and I found this, I didn't even know how to open this up. So I was like trying to like peel this open because I thought it was like clicked in and
You
clicked
were
out, but
upside down.
yeah, so you basically just push this and it will open it up. Um yeah, anyways, it was kind of funny just trying to figure out how to like, use this. I've never really held one and played with it, but yeah, this thing's pretty dope. I'm looking forward to playing. So I bought a Yeast 7 for it because that was a PSP/PC only game. So
Hmm.
I bought Yeast 7 for it. I look forward to playing the two Battlefront games on it, as well as Crisis Core. And there was another game. Oh, Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics would be pretty cool to play on this. But there's also another game in particular I really wanted to play on the PSP, but I'm drawing a blank on it right now. But obviously, like the UMDs, I definitely want to watch some movies on this now. So, I mean, this is a really neat device. And I got it for, like I said, a steal. So it was like too good to really pass up. Screen is perfectly fine too. It's got like no scratches or anything on it, and the battery's fine as well. So, um, when I finish, uh one of my playthroughs of a different game, I'm gonna play Yeast 7 on this and see how it holds up compared to Yeast Celcita on the Vita. So yeah. Anyways, by the way, is this so that's the power? Is this the headphone jack here?
Yes, and it had like a weird proprietary headphone jack. You could still use regular headphones, but they also came with like their own kind of like headphones as well.
That's annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna have to find a proprietary headphone then.
Yeah,
Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. These I was like, is this up here? But these are like screws or something up
yeah.
here. Okay. Um, what is this button here? This black one.
I think that's like a QR, like not a QR reader, but you know what I mean, infrared.
Oh, IR. I see it. Yeah, it says IR on it. So this
Yeah.
had an IR on it. That's interesting. Okay. Wow. Well, anyways, that's it for PSP. Unfortunately, I don't have a favorite game because I haven't really played it yet. I just bought it and it's just waiting for me to have fun with it.
Right on, right on. All right, we're gonna go to the last one for me as well. This is kind of like was my goodbye to this generation. That is my Pokemon Scarlet and Violet OLED model Switch. This is what used to be my road warrior when I used to go out and play stuff. Scarlet and Violet is kind of looked at as like you either love it or hate it. I think they're still one of the best Pokemon games of probably of all time, especially now that they run at a proper frame rate. Obviously, you had the Scarlet and you had the Violet little Joy Cons, which I absolutely loved, and I love this back so much. You had obviously all the starter Pokemon, other like things. It's just got a lot going on, and I really do love it. And I also love that the OLED models actually had a actual stand compared to the other models that you saw, where it was just a little nub in the background. So, just wanted to say a good send off to the good old Switch. Got this one. I was happy about it, and I got to retire my Monster Hunter one. Even though I didn't see an upgrade, I needed a Pokemon collector's console, and I still think that this is one of the cooler ones. There are cooler 3DS ones, but they're Japan only. And yeah, that that's what I wanted to say. The OLED model, was it worth buying? I don't know. Probably not. But at the end of the day, Pokemon is very hot. Pokemon has a special place in my heart. I was there day one with the anime. I was there day one with a Game Boy and a Pokemon Red. And then, all the way today. So that should do it for me as well. Look at him. He's got a nice little send off. His
Yeah,
console.
just lay them out.
Yeah, man, this was very fun. Thank you for coming on. We went a lot longer than I thought we were because we really got into it. That's for sure.
That's the fun part. You start talking about stuff that you're really interested in, and like time just goes by. And I mean, it helps because then you kind of remember stuff as you're talking too. So yeah, I mean, this is fun, man. I like talking about video games and talking about some memories and just hopefully introducing people to some interesting items that they might pique their interest. Like, I mean, for me, as you can see, I mostly played Nintendo consoles growing up, and now I finally have like a PSP and a Vita, so I can expand my handheld library to those two consoles.
Yeah, and we could go into a lot more in-depth detail, and obviously we're doing a little bragging and flexing, but there's just so much fun stuff with gaming out there, and so many memories I think people might have just forgotten about. Just remember like when you go out there and you are a collector, and I feel like a lot of digital stuff has hurt collecting. I know some PC players kind of maybe have just kind of forgotten just the tactile feel about just having something like this in your hand or going to retro shops or stuff like that. Just there's nothing really super fun sometimes about just always having an emulation file. There is something still fun to just play on original hardware the way that it was intended for. And sometimes, the jankiness is part of the joy. And even though some of these games that we were just talking about, like, did not run great on said consoles, they still have a special place in my heart, and I think yours too, AC.
Yeah, there's something to be said about holding something actual, like a physical object, and playing a game on there, versus like playing it like an emulation of that game or on your computer. There's more that's added to it because I went out to the shops and I found this and I found a great deal for this. And I also go out and find games and I hunt for these games, and it's like there's like layers to this excitement and this fun, and I almost said entertainment, but that's like the wrong word, but just the thrill of it. Whereas like you come on, you boot up your PC and you load up Steam, and you just one click to purchase as well as like one click to download illegal games. Like where's the fun in that? Like there's no like it's like a very one-dimensional experience, where this is a very three-dimensional experience. And I'm just thankful that I can kind of get past my like Nintendo biases, and I can expand to like other consoles and play some other consoles out there, and also share the experience with other people and get other people interested and hyped into playing like a new console or a new game out there that they've never been interested in. Yes, a lot of this is expensive. I mean, the 3DS is really expensive to get
Yes.
into, but if you're like a big Nintendo fan, like Super Mario, Zelda, Star Fox, Pokemon. I think it's
Fire
well worth
Emblem.
the. Oh yeah, excuse me, Fire Emblem. I think it's well worth the investment. You start something simple. If you could find like a basic 3DS console, start from there, work your way up. Those new PC games, you can wait for those because they'll mostly always be there. These 3DS games are slowly going to start getting phased out in the future, and they'll get more and more expensive. So,
Hmm.
I really think like if you just take the time and invest a little bit, it's well worth the investment. And I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. You're like, why do you have so many consoles? Well, I mean, with these three consoles, the three 3DSs, I can play all three of these with my wife and her brother-in-law. A couple games that I have, actually more than a couple games, like that are multiplayer games. Same with the DSs that I have. I have two DSs. Technically, I can do it. I think with this 3DS, I can play multiplayer games, co-op, local co-op. So they have their purpose to have like more than one console. So um, anyways, I mean, I'm a big tactile guy, so I like holding something in my hand that is like a real thing, and yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, I do agree. I'm a huge physical collector, as people have probably noticed from this channel. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you again. Please, if you can, leave a like and a comment. Help the algorithm. Small sacrifice to the algorithm gods. Help this channel grow. And of course, AC's links to his channel will be in this video as well. You could click the name and it'll take you right to his YouTube channel. Go subscribe to him there. AC, do you want to give a little bow out of who you are exactly and what kind of content you do the most of?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on, man, and this has been a real blast. And yeah, I'm just the Angry Canadian over here on YouTube as well as X, and my channel is just dedicated to my hobbies, just for fun. So I play video games. I like to build Lego sets live and just talk to people and just make connections and have fun talking video games with people and try to discover new games, introduce games to people. I like to focus on playing physical games and not really emulation if I can. And I just want to just play games that I enjoy or find new games and introduce it to people. So it's been a lot of fun doing that, and been fun hanging out with you. And you've been introducing me to a lot of games. I introduced you to games, so that exchange is what we need more of.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. You have opened me up to being more of a Nintendo fan than a hater. Alrighty then, everyone. Well, we will talk to you all later. And until next time, everyone, stay awesome. Goodbye.